Oh, I want to talk about this. Well, because frankly, this is about where I actually dropped off on Marvel. Was pretty soon after the WandaVision. I'll admit, even though I'm a huge fan of Marvel, I fell off. I fell off pretty hard after that. And I haven't really been keeping up with much of anything lately, Marvel related. It's just been boring for me, bro. So I haven't heard much about this show. Nobody's been discussing it. I want to know what's going on. What's happening with Agatha all along, which was the witch that like was tricking Wanda at the end of WandaVision and sort of like gave her the book for her to become super evil in Multiverse of Madness. For those who don't know. So let's get into it. What's going on with this Agatha all along? Should I even watch it?
I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine turned out to be the biggest smash hit of the
Haven't seen it, have to see it, gotta see it, trust.
summer movie season, and while I don't think it's going to be enough
to Don't care for spoilers, even if they are spoiled. Even if I am spoiled, I still watch this stuff. I love it.
The trajectory of the MCU, it could at least be seen as the first step in the right direction. What Marvel
Mad
really
Max
needs to do now is follow it up with a high-profile, crowd-pleasing project, something to solidify the success of Deadpool and prove that it was more than just a lucky fluke for a franchise that's sliding slowly into irrelevancy. So naturally, they decided to follow it up with Agatha All Along.
No.
And if that name's not familiar to you, you might remember it more as
Agatha. I remember Agatha Harkness, yeah.
House of Harkness, or Agatha Coven of Chaos, or Agatha Darkhold Diaries.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And yeah,
wait, so they've got like the different renamings? Why not just call it Agatha Harkness? They're calling it Agatha. They went with Agatha All Along? Why'd you go with Agatha All Along? Nobody even liked that song. Was it the Agatha All Along song where she killed a puppy? I don't want to be reminded about the song where she killed the puppy. Like, if you go rewatch WandaVision, that she literally murders a puppy in the middle of that song.
Intentional move as part of a quirky marketing campaign, and totally not a panicking studio trying different ways to polish a turd. It's a show that's been in development for so long that I genuinely started to forget what it was even based on, and I suspect the people behind the trailer realized this too, which is why about
what is going on here? I feel like they should have been released immediately after WandaVision.
50% of it is just a recap of WandaVision. Remember WandaVision? Remember the first few episodes that hinted at a bold and inventive new way of Marvel storytelling on Disney Plus, only to devolve into the same generic CGI slop as everything else they've put out in the past 5 years? Anyway, believe it or not, the show...
Yeah, why did we wait this long? This needed to come out immediately after WandaVision.
Is almost upon us now. And
in fact, this should have came out frankly, before Multiverse of Madness, and maybe could have helped us realize a little bit more of like why Wanda became evil so quickly.
Watched the trailer and a couple of the
because she was just evil the next moment.
Familiarize myself with what it's trying to be. The biggest question that comes to my mind is, who's this show even made for? Don't worry though, we'll come back to that question in a minute. The general premise, as far as I understand it, is that Agatha was stripped of her powers and imprisoned by Wanda at the end of WandaVision, but with Wanda dead, for now at least, Agatha's been released from her spell. The problem is that she still doesn't have her witch powers back, and the only way to retrieve them is to follow the witch's road, where she'll be rewarded by whatever she wants at the end.
Wait, why doesn't she have her powers back? She was given those powers at birth, wasn't she? I thought that was like the whole thing.
Provided she can survive the trials, of course. So before you can say contrived plot ideas, she's assembled a diverse squad of witches to embark on her journey with her. Nice to see a token male witch thrown in there too.
Why add just a bunch of witches to this? Like, I feel like a lot of shows do this, where they add a bunch of characters that I'm not gonna care about,
her witch powers back.
as soon as
and
we're
the
done
only
with
way
the
to
show.
retrieve them is to follow the witch's road, where she'll be rewarded by whatever she wants at the
Like,
end.
you tell me,
provided
do you
she can
honestly
survive the
believe-
trials, of course. So before you can say contrived
Let's take a
plot
look at them
ideas,
all.
she's assembled a
Okay, you tell me, do you honestly believe any of these characters are gonna matter at all at any point after this show is over?
diverse squad of witches to embark on her journey with her. Nice to see a token male witch.
I'm
thrown
sorry,
in
but
there
I'm not seeing any of these going up against Doctor Doom in the next phase.
too. I'm sure he's going to be a real bastion of masculinity.
And frankly, if they do, then at that point, is this even Marvel superheroes? And what the frick are we doing anymore?
Can I interest you in a pre-road appetizer?
Nah, never mind. While we're on that subject though, let's see if we can find any of the other modern MCU trademarks, shall we? Cringeworthy attempts.
Okay, they're going with a little bit of a creepy, like possession
Appetizer.
Nah,
type
never
of deal.
mind.
That could be
While we're
kind
on
of
that
cool.
subject though, let's see if we can find any of the other modern MCU trademarks, shall we? Cringeworthy attempts at humor?
You're bound.
And you need a chemical peel.
Check. Generic tough female character that everyone's supposed to be scared of?
Wait, how do you need a chemical peel? You're a witch. Why can't you just make yourself look however you want?
Check. Implied gay relationship that can be easily edited out for international releases?
Do I hate her or?
Well, yeah, because we want to support gay people, but we don't want China to know that we support gay people because they give us money.
Do I want her phone number?
Check.
This is never gonna work.
They always Disney always loves to like be very sneaky about their implied gay relationship so that they could claim that they're an ally, but also still remove it for China. It's very interesting.
Never a truer word was spoken, lass. The one thing I can say in the show's favour is that they seem to be prioritising practical effects over CGI, at least
That's
according
cool.
to the behind the scenes featurettes, which is something, I guess. In a franchise where apparently it's too much effort to even film on a suburban street for real, it's nice to see production designers working with prosthetics, animatronics, and actual physical sets for a change. I mean, I definitely wouldn't expect them to continue this trend, but it did make me think that someone in charge of it actually cares about the end
I mean, yeah, honestly,
products. That's nice and all,
I
but
kinda wanna
suspect
see it
all
for that
good
reason
work
now.
is going to be undone by the writing, which, if the trailer and the features is anything to go by, is going to make Amy Schumer seem like Dave Chappelle.
No.
I mean, I know that humor's subjective, but Jesus Christ, there's only so far you could push that premise before it collapses under the weight of terrible gags, awful delivery, and a tone so predictable that it feels like it came off an assembly line. It's weird because the featurettes keep making such a big deal out of how hilariously funny the lead actress is, and how surprising
Oops.
it is that she can also do drama.
So many people think of Catherine as being a comedic actor, but it's her dramatic ability to go all the way there.
Meanwhile, all I can think
I
about
feel like I didn't get comedy actor from her portrayal in WandaVision at all.
was this scene from Planet Terror.
They all say I'm hysterical.
But you're not.
This is what happens when you tell people lies their entire careers. Lies like, you're really funny, or you're a great singer, or this show is totally going to be a hit, trust me. I think the person I feel most sorry for though is Aubrey Plaza, one of the only actresses in this show who's actually funny in real life, and probably deserves a lot more success than she's gotten in her career. If Jenna Ortega is the MCU, then Plaza is the Fox X-Men movies, someone who got there first, had their share of wins and losses, but never quite reached the same heights and ultimately blew their best chance of success. But I think the biggest problem this show has to overcome
Paul has some freaking thoughts on Audrey Plaza. Goodness.
is that, well,
Freaking love
nobody
her.
really wanted this fucking thing in the first place. It was commissioned at a very different time, a time when Marvel was still riding high, and they probably thought that every new Disney Plus show was going to spawn a whole network of spin-offs that people would absolutely gobble up.
Fuck.
And well, the reality in 2024 is very different. Tell me, are you excited to watch a show that's basically a spin-off of a spin-off, centered around a character that was so completely forgettable that it's almost impossible to even form an opinion about her now? I asked at the start of this video...
It really is a spin-off of a spin-off at this point, isn't it?
...who I thought this show was made for, and taking into account the aging and...
For a villain that no longer exists!
Female cast, the campy tone, the song and dance numbers, the constant wardrobe changes, and the painfully dated attempts at humour, it seems to be a show targeted at middle-aged wine mums who also have a passing interest in superhero movies. And I'm not gonna lie, that is a pretty small demographic you're appealing to there. I think Marvel themselves suspect that this show is dead in the water and is likely to land with all the impact of a left hook from Stephen Hawking, which is why there's been almost no advertising pushed for it. By all accounts, their senior leadership is very aware of their decline in popularity these days, and more importantly the reasons why it's happening, and they're working hard to alter course. The problem is that massive franchises like the MCU are about as maneuverable as your average super tanker, and there's still a whole lot of shit in the pipeline that's too far along to salvage. For example, Ironheart's been in the can for years now and they still haven't released it because they know it's gonna suck. But just like the DCU once James Gunn took over...
To be fair, nobody really, like, there wasn't a whole lot of hype for Ironheart.
There's not much choice except to expel it out into the world, get it over with...
But to be fair, I think you would have more success with an Ironheart than you would with an Agatha all along, if I'm being honest.
Hopefully move on to something better. Honestly, with 9
at least you got
episodes to
robots,
get through, I
like
don't
robot
think I'll
suits.
even bother watching Agatha all along, and I suspect a lot of other people out there are gonna feel the same way. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why this is coming out so freaking late, dude. If you wanted to put this out, they should have been immediately after WandaVision, or very soon,
Man, some
like
people just...
after that, because at this point, this is outside of people's like brain. Nobody's thinking about this. Nobody's even wondering what the frick happened to that character. Nobody cares. Like, it's not like, what are you doing? I'm gonna drop a link on the Discord. Go check them out. Drop them a like. Drop them a sub to the Critical Drinker. But yeah, no, I don't know who the frick they're expecting to bring in with this. Were they waiting for like a Halloween release? Is that what they were doing? But I don't know. I don't get it. It seems so freaking like late to the party. Yeah, no, I don't know. I might check it out because I love Audrey Plaza, and I like special effects when they're done like really well. And I do like scary stuff. I saw that lady get possessed, and she looked like she was getting possessed by a ghost or a demon or something. That looked kind of creepy, kind of cool. So maybe I might watch it as like a Halloween thing. But it did better impress me if it wants me to keep watching. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!